Tuni Sati Mfuga Mshulusi Roses Party Hotulu Rosamtato Zuma Rosambege Lutuni Sati Mfuga Mshulusi Roses Party Hotulu Kameme Sentsebi Yatume Madide Ione Tansumpa Ione Vausata Yameme Sentsebi Yatume Madide Pipa, President Zuma, pipa!
Tina Sizwe, Tina Sizwe, Sikalela, Sikalela, Izwe, Ela Tatwa, Ela Tatwa, Tatwa, Ela Tatwa, Mabauyege, Mabauyege, Usha, Mabauyege, Mabauyege, Usha. Siyabonga. Members of the Mkhwanazi household and the extended family, ANC leadership that has been announced here, particularly members of the National Executive Committee, and the veterans who are here, particularly those who worked with Riot Mkhwanazi for many years. The provincial leadership under the chairpersonship of Ubaba Uzigalala, the Premier of the province, Maqingwana, directors of the program today, fellow mourners, comrades and friends, allow me today to say some remarks in English, but also say other remarks in Zulu. Uma sengikwitizile ngiphinde ngikhulume, ikakhuluma sengikhuluma ngalensizwa ngezigigaba zayo, ikakhulu because there are comrades here who worked with him who would not understand my Zulu only, who need to also hear. And the two chairs have given me the permission. Thank you very much for giving me the permission. Comrades and friends who have gathered here today, sadly, to pay our last respect and bid farewell to a brave and outstanding freedom fighter who dedicated his entire life to the cause of our freedom, justice, and equality, Comrade Riot Mkhwanazi. In the process, if you hear me calling him Isidumbu Mkhwanazi, you must know ukuthi insizwa leyo yayibizwa ngamagama. We are laying to rest one of the best of our movement. He is part of a generation that is sadly leaving us now, because age will always catch up with anyone, which can only attest that it is a long road that our country has traveled to freedom. This generation has fought a good fight. They were at the center of our struggle. They went through all its phases, finally delivered freedom to our country. Some of them are sitting there as the director of the program announced them. Ibrahim, Mek Maharaj, Sani Singh, and others. There is no aspect of our struggle, together with Comrade Riot, they did not go through. Yes, they have delivered to the nation the freedom that looked far beyond our reach at the time when they joined the struggle. They were driven by the commitment to fight and free our country at all costs. they were prepared to give it all, including their lives. Compatriots, Baba Riot Mkhwanazi came from a family that was one of a kind. His parents and grandparents they detested oppression. Of fellow human beings by others, and were all activists. His father in particular, Riot Mkhwanazi, if I'm not mistaken, some called him Madonso Mkhwanazi, was one of those who bravely burned their dompasses in 1930 in a brave protest against carrying of passes. That campaign at the time was mainly led by the South African Communist Party, where its General Secretary was killed. Mkhwanazi's father was there. Given his commitment to the Communist Party, he then named his son these names: Mkhwanazi. At time the Zuma Communist Party, Riot. When he went to get his dompas or ipas, ngesikwazi kudala, omabhalane bambuza ukuthi mfana ubane igama lakho, as usual wathi nguMkhwanazi. Bathi wemfana sifuna igama lakho, ubani igama lakho na? Wathi nguMkhwanazi. Awunalelinye? Wathi likhona. Ubani? uRiot. But nanku umhlobo wemfana. Alikho elinye? Wathi hayiwo lawo. Awunazi idlaliso? Wathi likhona ledlaliso. Kuthiwa ubani? Wathi ngikuthiwa uPipi. Wathi ngcono sibhalelele. Wathi amagama ami lawo nganikezwa ubaba. That confirms the point that he came from a family which was political. And those who are old enough will know that during that time there was something that was called ICU. That many, much as it was supposed to be a trade union, but those who were working came with it to the rural areas, and it was all over. And they did not unpack the acronyms. ICU. They made a sentence out of it, that I see you, white man. And that's what they were saying. So ICU to them was an expression that we see what you do, white man. Not the acronym, whatever you call it. Born in 1933, his youth was shaped in the times of the Defiance campaign in the 1950s, whose other main achievement was to politicize the people and make them aware of all the machinations of the apartheid state. It is also in this context that when he left his home here in Kwa-Dlangezwa and landed in Durban as a migrant laborer, as it was common during those days. He was influenced by a number of comrades. One of them was Comrade Ubaba Stephen Dlamini, a trade unionist, who taught him the politics of the class struggle and racial oppression in South Africa. And he learned and became converted. During that period, political education was highly valued within the movement. People dedicated some days in a week to political education. This helped them to understand the struggle. That is why they became firmly anchored in the organization. Ubaba uhlabangana lo enimrecognizile mayengena ubaba Stalin Mtshali would attest to this, because he was part of those political discussions. It is important as cadres that we value political education so that we know how to advance the goals of our organization in an orderly and disciplined manner. And if we say we want to remember Riot Mkhwanazi, who did not go very far in formal education, but educated himself. I think his son made the point here that he argued that nothing must defeat you. You must always overcome your circumstances, no matter how difficult they were. That's why he became one of those who valued education in general, but political education in particular. Ngoba uma ipolitiki ungayazi ngokwanele, ungazi ukuthi uyakhuluma kanti uyabheda. Okanye mhlawumbe ushaya izilogana noma ushaya itoyitoyi ukudlula abanye. Ipolitiki ibalulekile because yona ekukhomba indlela. Ngaphandle kokuyazi ipolitiki, ucishe ufane nomuntu ohamba endleleni kodwa engaboni kahle hle futhi kusebusuku, ungaphoseka ngisho odongeni. Comrade Riot was young when he worked in Durban, but he remained focused and committed to the struggle to liberate this country. He was a member of the South African Congress of Trade Unions and the ANC Youth League. And it is important again, if we want to follow Riot Mkhwanazi, not in words, in concrete terms and practice. Riot Mkhwanazi worried himself to understand what was the ANC and what was the South African Congress of Trade Unions. What was the Communist Party? What was the Youth League? So that he would be able to pass the knowledge to others, so that others don't take things for granted, but also they have an understanding, not just a generalized understanding of politics, but scientific politics. That's why he was among those who worried himself to study very, very seriously politics. Very much keen to study trade unionism as it exists in the world. Very much keen to study Marxism and Leninism. And he believed it is only when you are clear that you can achieve what you want. Because if you are not clear, you can go with the wind. If the wind is blowing one side powerfully, you could, and many have in our history. But also he believed that if you are not committed and clear, you could be misled, but also you could sell out. By enlisting for the MK at its formation, he demonstrated readiness to carry and embody the nation's destiny and aspirations, even at that time. This was risky at the time. It was not like being voted to be a councillor, which is easy, nice, smooth, with benefits. To that extent of joining MK, you were saying, I'm a soldier. And the job of a soldier is to fight and defeat the enemy or die in the process. As true loyalty to a liberation organization was very easily a matter of life and death. But Comrade Riot was a man who valued the collective good above personal interests and comfort. Perhaps when we have time to talk about Riot Mkhwanazi, we can say many things as an example of a cadre dedicated and who surrendered himself to the organization, body and soul. He was prepared to fight to liberate this country. That is why he was arrested on the way to exile, where he was intended to be part of the forces that wanted to take on the apartheid state. When he was chosen to leave the country, he had belonged to the units of MK that conducted sabotage inside the country. We can ponder many aspects of Baba Mkhwanazi's life. When he was arrested in Zerast, as you heard and you'll read in the biography, when we finished 90 days in Pretoria, he was charged in our case, and he was accused number 7. But in terms of the investigation by the police, when he was already charged in Pretoria, other comrades, that include comrades that I've mentioned sitting there, were charged in Pietermaritzburg. And in terms of the state felt that he might get a bigger sentence in Pietermaritzburg. And I think in all the life of the trials, as the only one I remember who was transferred from a case already started to another case in Pietermaritzburg. In fact, his chair in court remained his number because accused number 7 was still there. But of course, he got 10 years. I knew him personally and very deeply as an old brother to me, a friend, a prison mate, and a disciplined comrade who never placed his independent thinking above his loyalty to the ANC and its decisions, orders, and directives. And he will carry the instructions to the latter. And he will make those who are with him to do so. This is a man whose political convictions, commitment, bravery, sacrifice, and resilience I can attest to. He was never broken by prison. Neither was he discouraged and overcome by the difficulties of life in exile. On his release from Robben Island, he continued to where he left off in politics. He demonstrated that his struggle was only deferred when he was incarcerated. He worked with trade unionists such as Justice Mpanza, Cletus Nzimela, David Ndaonde, Apollon Duma, K. Munsami, and Advaria and Papenia, George Naika, Ismail Ibrahim, who is here, Billy Naya, Bruno Mtolo, who sold out later, Solomon Banjwa, who sold out later, Alfred Duma, and various others to take the struggle forward. We have truly lost a veteran in the true sense of the word. A veteran, according to the definition of the ANC, you must have participated in the struggle for 40 years with no intervals or broken period. And you must also be 60. Just for you to know, so that ningasibuka masikhuluma ukuthi usefikile nje kufika 60 lo. Ningalokhu nihlupheka. This stalwart of our movement, who respected our organization as well as its structures and processes, and respected other comrades. You can look at the trade union record, you'll find nothing untoward. You might look at the South African Communist Party record, you'll find nothing untoward, as well as the African National Congress record. During very difficult days, he always emerged as a hope and helped teach many of us what we needed to know. He understood that the existence of a united and cohesive ANC is the minimum requirement for the successful prosecution of a revolutionary struggle to totally emancipate the oppressed people of South Africa. He never did anything to interrupt unity of our organization. He wouldn't. He didn't believe that. He believed unity and harmony of the ANC was an important condition for the ANC to succeed. Mkhwanazi was also never confused about where he stood in the struggle. He stayed loyal to the organization and to the country to the end. To show one of his elements, when his health was not good, when we're celebrating the centenary of the ANC, when the lamp of freedom or the torch of freedom was traveling across the country, when it came here to Mbangen, there was a dinner that was organized. He was at the hospital with drips and everything. He said, I'm going there. He actually came to the hotel, Nama dripsak, because he said, Allah gdulala ilanga bilenkulego ngalbo. I had to plead with him to say no. Now sesibonene baba. He also wanted to see me. Buyela esibhedlela manje. That tells you the bravery and the commitment beyond any understanding. In his memory, we must remain true to the core values and principles of our movement, the African National Congress. I'm not sure whether we can stand up one day and say, yes, we have taken from Mkhwanazi. We are now sure that we have done it. We have united our organization. We are adhering to the cause of his values. But that's a call to ANC people, to the Communist Party people. Baba Mthembu. And indeed to COSATU, the unions. These values are unity, selflessness, sacrifice, collective leadership, humility, honesty, discipline, hard work, internal debates, constructive criticism and self-criticism, and mutual respect. And there are many others. These are just a few that are the values that make the cadre of the ANC to be distinguished from other cadres or members of other organizations. He had all of this, Riot Mkhwanazi. ANC members must, in his memory, value political education, which is what Comrade Mkhwanazi valued, and it remained his passion to the end. Politics don't walk to you and come into you and make you to be clear politicians. No, you walk to it, you learn it, you get to know it. And once you know it, there is no situation you cannot deal with. But if you know it somehow, you can go through a lot of difficulties. As I said, ungawela nasodongeni. He also valued education, particularly because he had an experience of his very little for informal education, and therefore valued education in the manner that we have never seen before. Earlier, his son was admitting that he got defeated in the debate, educated debate by Mkhwanazi, his father. Because what akufuneka ube isifundiso esisilima. One of our great leader, Tumanogwe, used to joke that the knowledge of learned people live in the briefcases. If you ask them a question, they say, just hang on. They open the briefcase to consult the papers. And he was saying, if we are educated, knowledge must sit in your head. You must be able to deal with it without going to the briefcase. That's lesser than what Riot said. Well, that is intellectual. They can do it. Abazonili. Kusho laba bazwa Mkhwanazi badlulele kulaba bayo kwi briefcase. That is why he established a bursary in his name in 2014. And this effort should not collapse. We must support his bursary scheme, just to remember him and do something that he believed in as much as possible. He did so much with very little education, but he thought he should do it so that the young people of this country should be educated, because he had come to understand that education empowers people to change the circumstances and the conditions of their countries. The fact that he was not so educated did not stop him from appreciating the importance of education nationally as a national task. The youth, with all the opportunities, must take the country forward to prosperity and an improved quality of life for the poor and the working class. He took this decision because he believed the workers and the poor, if their kids were educated, that position would change. Baba Mkhwanazi remained an inspiration all his life. He spoke revolution. He did everything. And it is important, by the way, to underline the fact that he came here when the atmosphere was difficult. He stayed. That tells you what and he believed that into. But did not end there. Did what many of us perhaps have not succeeded to do. There is a training that was given to MK called the MCW. Shaikumbula. MCW empowers you to be able to get into a hostile area and turn it around. He's the only one so far that we can cite as having implemented that. He came to a hostile place and changed it and ended up with the people belonging to a hostile party voting for him. And at times, ngiyangibuza emasocialini ukuthi iphi MCW madoda. Uma bethi hayi basivimbe ama branchini. Nandabani ne branch, organize abantu. usebenze MCW. Wayisebenzisa-ke okaMkhwanazi. People here began to look up to him, loved him, and always went to him for guidance. He was a true elder of our community and our movement. His high level of deep political understanding did not make him, much as he understood what traditional leaders are, but he knew how to handle it, how to make them support his organization, irrespective of what his views could have been about them. That's why he went there and made people to see him as an elder, as a responsible person, as different, and voted for him. For the first time we got the word. That tells you the quality of a cadre that he was. He did not say, me, I'm an older, I'm a whatever you call it, stalwart, I can't be a councillor. All I need is to be somewhere up there. No. He was ready to be a councillor. And if I say this today to people, that once I take my pension, I'm going to contest to be a councillor in my ward. They say, how? And is it personal? It's not. It's organizational. Yabona nje mungasuthathe ikhulu ezike zabale phezulu uthi awuyoba ikhansela ngathi nangu umuntu engisuke lapho mina ngibe ikhansela. I was saying to somebody yesterday lapha Vereeniging, I was talking to the mayor. I said, my ambition is to be a mayor of Nkandla one day. Ngiyithathe le Nkandla ngoba iyabehlula abaningi. Yebo. Ninake ngoba ipolitiki yeni itshekile nzothi umongameli abe yikhansela uzosivimbela indawo Musa. Kanti anazi ukuthi ngizoyithatha lokho ngempela. Mase ngiyithathile ngayigoqa ngininiki ngoba ngisafuna lutho. Nangumongameli ningakhuza uma ngaya namhlanje ngisewumongameli uma ngaseyena phela it's not about me, it's about the ANC. That's the main thing. That's a demonstration that Riot Mkhwanazi showed here. A big commissar, he was a commissar in the camps, a big trade unionist, communist, ANC, well known, became a councillor. La Emakai, not Kuma's grave. La. That is politics. If we have understood politics very well, the scientific politics. Not less as hamba no more. It's tengwanang mali politics. No, you know, I collapse. He was a devout member of the community, very much active in developmental projects and involved with the Mkhwanazi Traditional Council on different matters. Hlala nabantu discussing inkinga zabantu we council. Angasho ukuthi mina sengake ngafika eSoviet Union, ngafika phesheya, ngizokhuluma nani nabantu basemakhaya. Ahlale nabo phansi. Asebenzise lo lwazi ukuyempower abantu bala. Ingakho bamthanda bamvotela. Noma kuthiwa ningamvoteli ikomanisi, bamvotela bathi lo siyamthanda. Uyasithanda naye. We are pleased that he was able to serve the new democratic dispensation formally in his lifetime as a councillor. He served as a councillor in the Umhlatuze municipality with distinction from 2002 up to 2006. I'm sure you will agree with me. He decided to give other comrades to lead. He said, I'm old now. I took the word from the opposition, take it now. I've encircled it. I've encircled it. Take it now. Because for him, it was not the position. It was not to be a councillor. It was the ANC that counted. And therefore, any other comrade should take it now. That was Riot. That was my Communist Party, Zuma Mkhwanazi. The fact that he was able to win his word in what was an IFP stronghold indicated his standing in the community. MCW Bafana Bagit, not so. PMCW. Nation Sap. This no man win ukhetho nikhali nithi awusehluliwe. Angishongo lutho. He taught us that leadership is all about service to your people, a passion to make a difference in our society, and commitment to realize such aspirations. That was Comrade Riot Mkhwanazi, Mkhwanazi. If we are to succeed, let us take lessons from him. If he could win a award, hostile, from a party that was very hostile, that tells you we had a lot to learn from him. Let us, in honor of the memory of Comrade Riot Mkhwanazi, continue to serve our people with humility and commitment. Riot iqhawe ngeke walingabaza asikho noma isincane isikhathi lapha kahiqiza khona ngeenkolelo zakhe. Ngeke noma kula ngaphandle noma kusejele noma kuse exile. Uyabona abantu ababenaleya politiki eyayifundiwe babe izinto beyibuka ngenye indlela. Comrade Ibrahim, when he went to exile and he went to Angola in the camps and found comrades at times complaining the fact that Ipam Azenele what he can't understand. Do you know that we started the struggle with black powder only, with no gun? This is a luxury. That is the type of politics I'm talking about. Riot ke wayazi kahle ukuthi impilo yasemhlabeni jikelele kunokuqophisana noma nokulwa phakathi kwabaqashi kanye nabasebenzi, ukuthi lokho kulwa ngeke kuqede uma ungazi ukuthi kwenzekani. Le yanto engithe wayifundiswa Stephen Dlamini okuthiwa i-class struggle, nokuthi i-Communist Party eyathatha isinqumo sokwakha i-federation enjenge SABC yayithi ikwenzelani lokho, ngoba yayithi uma umsebenzi kodwa ungezange wenziwe ukuthi ubone political ungaqilazwa nje kuze kuyoshonela. I-consciousness ye-class ayisuki lapho ehlala khona ize kuwena, iyakhiwa. You build it. Kwisakto sasihlala njengoba ngishilo insuku eziningi esontweni siyeke konke sizela sisebancane kusafunele ngabe silandele intombi, silandele ngeensuku ezimbalwa eziningi sikhohlwe yizo ezinye izibala abanye abantu, ngoba sithi sifuna ukwazi ukuze ukwazi ukuthi umele ubunzima benkululeko kufanele ukuthi uyazi politiki. Sasihlala lapha sifunde ubusuku nemini sifunda nangesizulu sikhulume ngesizulu sikhulume ngalento okuthiwa iproletariat lesizulu ibizwa abantu abakhulu impabanga kwake kwafika umfo ezosijoyina esuka kwi-unity movement kwakumbutho oneyifundiswa zodwa wawungajoyini khona uma ungafundile i-rank and file yakhona yayigcina komabhalane no-nurse below that wawungayijoyini bekhuluma isingisi esikhulu ukuthi don't attack the enemy now you must first galvanize the nation galvanization of the masses angazi ukuthi ungawugalvanize ama-masses onke uzuthi aseredike manje wayisho njalo wafika umfo ehamba nonkosikazi wakhe wafika wasilalela sikhuluma ipolitiki ngesizulu wathi namhlanje ngikhulile angaze ngizwe ipolitiki ikhulunywa ngesizulu ngiyaqala ukuyizama ngiyajoyina namhlanje nangithi yethu thina abafundile eqhamuka ku-unity movement sishaya kancane nje singajahile uyambona kuMkhwanazi ngenkathi eseThekwini ngoba indoda eyayizimisele wayeyiboxer eligudi kabi eno left ohamba njengonyasi futhi ngoba wayenentamo emfishane wavele nje athi uleft wakhe ushesha ngendlela eyisimanga ukuphinda phinda eduze kwendoda jendampela esezokwenziwa iprofessional wafika uKhongolose wayeka phansi yonke leyo nto ngabe kwakuyiprofessional enkulu kabi eno right oyisimanga yayinamandla ke leyo ndoda wangena kuKhongolose wasebenza khona ubusuku nemini akusibindi singangesebhubesi mama babeshaya amadoda ayiphuza ubhokweni eThekwini ayenza imistake ngelinye ilanga amadoda athi labafazi bayeyisi bawashaya abafazi lafika izwi kuthina sathi asiyobashaya abanye bafaka ingubo bafaka ama-tennis ball la bonakala ngathi intombazana fihla induku la ngaphansi kwengubo uRiot akazange aphathe ngisho induku uthemba inqindi lakhe ukuthi lapho afika khona kuba kubi angena lamakhosikazi ngaphakathi hey awashaya amadoda abanye babebe ukuthi bagade mabephuma uxakwa abantu bephuma umnyango ongaka wasematsheni kube ngathi impethu omnye wephe komunye bathi hey lamakhosikazi ashaya ngathi indoda ngambona isukela iblack jack liphethe iwisa lawa phansi iwisa nangu uRiot emva kwakhe bagcumela ngemva wafuka libamba la lashishuluza ngesisu uRiot ungadlali ngaye akusibindi ibhubesi uyabona ngenkathi sesihamba siya ngaphandle ngoba saboshwa kanye naye eZirust sawulaliswe police station sabona amaphoyisa engasinakile although sase sizwile ngelinye lalikhuluma isuthu libuza ukuthi kanti niyaphi ngoba kade sithutha abantu sibasePitori abebehamba ngeemoto ezifana lezi saplana ebusuku ukuthi no sizophuma ekseni sibaleke sithi sa eZirust sokuseduze eButswana siyohlakazeka singagijima one direction ngoba amaphoyisa amancane uyosala comrade uyobe sacrifice thina abayohamba kuyobe sihambile siyokwenza umthamo ngale yokutrain bona khona insizwe yayindala seyeshela kwakuthiwa uMatthew Ntaba ngabona lo azoqala ngayo sisefiti ngalonke athi azidlali saplana savuma ukuthi nje uma sithi nje ukuphuma siyothi sihlakazeke sithi uma sithi siyaphuma ekseni sathola amaphoyisa kanti asezwile ukuthi labantu abantu bomkhonto esakhe passage of human bodies bephethe yonke inhlobo yenduku nami ngange kwabaphambili ngathi hey kubi madoda ngabuye umva ngathi hey kubi hey sebeyasho ngathi comment oh ayikho indlela saphuma usesihambe passage manje sibheke evenini ivulile ngezwe nje kancane emvami ukuthi gulukudu awumfuka Mkhwanazi madoda wabona igap encane ngaka egqoka ujazi waphuma khona wathi chap njengebullet uimplementa i-decision esithathile ebusuku iyasehlula thina ku-implement siyahlehla sonke sazi ukuthi kuthini uclear wathi mathi uphuma ngegate amlandela abantu bamba la ngojazi bathi ambambe elinye lamthi lamfaka uvice angithi ube nentamo emfishane licabanga ukuthi limbambela kanti uthela limbambela beza naye la sebesifake sonke ngenduku evenini hey ngimbhekile madoda umfowethu hey lamabhuna ambambile uyacabanga it was very fast wathi mayifika lapha ethi yamjikijela wavelwa nyathela ngoba ucabanga ukuthi bazomshaya ngemva wanyathela ngapha nangapha komnyango wafinyela watibila waphusha amaphoyisa pop aya waphansi akhala athi nya wangena evenini ungena ngaphakathi hey ngithi mfana kithi usindile ngithula kakhuluma wathi yazi wasilethela amabhuno usukela eZeras lapha sasima khona sithela petrol amanye atshena amanye athi Springbok la kuna iSpringbok atshena amaphoyisa sema Rabastad ukuthi lapha kuna iSpringbok la yes siyafika lapha sebesilindele ngaleya human passage sekunje lithi phoyisa maniphuma la sobhekeseli noba kukhombe kuyona iphume ningenze lento eniyenza le ngoba amaSpringbok la hey liqala ukukhuluma ngesizulu sathi asizwa ukukhuluma ngesizulwana sale sishwabene la kodwa sezwa ukuthi kuthiwa asibone ukuthi sizoshaya sihamba noComrade wakwaMkhize insizwa nje tough hayi sihamba phambili yathi yaphuma la khala ikhanda qo wathi hey basishaya madoda wabuye ngathi hey sophuma kanjani evenini ngase ngibuka uMkhwanazi ngambone bamba ijazi lakhe lithi ekulungisa ngase ngisondele eduze kwakhe ngiyazi ukuthi ngizoncika la kuyena walibamba wathi bathi comment wathi waseyabuya zathi induku mazithi waphuma phansi kwakhe ngalandela nami ngathi hayi bengashayi basiseselini yokugcina lapha uyakhona kukhona elimi lapha ekugcineni liphethe isiqwayi silesa amaphoyisa ngalibona ukuthi lona elingozi kakhulu leli kufanele ngilidoje angilazi lalo ngishaya khona kuphuka ithambo ngathi lathi lashala shaya ubala ngangena endlini ngilandelwa umfomliphi esasifunda naye politics yaphela ngalelo langa wafika bambelela uthe mayijika lamshala ibhunu kwaxebuka la kwanqamuka umthambo umkhambo akhala wathi igazi wawela ngaphakathi salibamba zama ukuvala la wathi uyabamba kwathi igazi lathi yaphela ipolitiki ngoba sasihlala sishaya ipolitiki lenkulu wathi ndilabantu soba nobudlelwana noma sesikhulekile ngeke madoda ngeke ngathi mina uyaphela ipolitiki Comrade ngisho ngenhliziyo kubi uRiot Mkhwanazi insizwa phakathi kweinsizwa iqhawe phakathi kwamaqhawe ubekufundisa ipolitiki not ngoba enamagama amaningi but i-body language nento ayishoyo ijule kuwena Mkhwanazi ekhonzwe ngabaholi clear political enza izinto ezingakwazi ukwenzeka sake saplana ngo1961 makubhena umbutho ukuthi sizosusa impi thina ngoba abaholi bayesabe eGoli sihambe siwela umtate siwelele ngale siyohleba ukuthi konje ekamayimaya yaqala kanjani imayimaya yaseKenya ekaMount Setungu yaqala kanjani sifuna ukuyiqala impela engekho kulokho ngoba bona babethe xaxa thina siyintsha impela ehamba lapha eNzansi sabona ukuthi kodwa ngeke sisuse singabatshena ngabaholi ngoba soyisusa kumgqibelo sothenga ocelemba abaningi sizobagenqa belungu ku-West Street naku-Smith Street ngoba mnyama phansi uRiot omnye wabo wawuzwa lo moya wathi hey laba bazobulala isizwe la yena nabanye washona kubaholi ukuthi hey kunentshe eshisayo ake ninqande kodwa bayeza kunini banqande ningasho ukuthi nizwe ngathi sihamba noGizenga owayeyibhimbi ngoba into wayengakwazi ukubeka ngesisoka akabange sasho ukuthi sizothenga ocelemba wathi sesibathengile bayiwophu bangaka hey abasihlaselanga abaholi hey saphuma sijosi inyoboze lithi hey madoda injani kanti lento uyambona ukuthi ipolitiki yakhe was matured he knew ukuthi this lento siyenzayo i-adventure of the first order kuzofa abantu bafela ubaba ingakho nje uma ifika la akashonga ukuthi njengoba ithi indodana kwayiphuma ne-AK ebusuku agade akashonga ukuthi ngokuyiphethe akahlasele ngayo wayiphathele ukuvika avikele umndeni not ukuhlasela kodwa abesesebenzisa ipolitiki yokuwina abantu ukuthi baze bamthande kuze kube yibona bamvikelayo that is matured politics khuluma ngomkhwanazi ke mokhuluma kanjani wayikhomanisi ngakhuluma ngaye ngoba ngiyamazi lalingadideki kwezepolitiki wayengadideki kukhona abantu abangazi ukuthi kuba khona kwe-Communist Party nokujula kwepolitiki yabo njengoba ejule kumkhwanazi yona eyenza ukuthi uANC lo abe lento ayiyo namhlanje abe mhle kanje iyona eyenza ukuthi kube khona ikhosathu le isakho eqaleni kube khona ikhosathu babe nenquma abayithathile because kwakukhona ipolitical clarity ukuthi i-leadership ye-party i-leadership yama-union okanye federation kufanele ukuthi iholo ubani yayingaholo umuntu othithizayo ozoba ugeneral secretary aphinda hamba ashona ehlathini amile iboya ehlathini because babethe umuntu okufanele kuba abe upresident noma abe usecretary kufanele ukuthi kube yikhomanisi hayi ikhomanisa ngoba khona amakhomanisa ikhomanisi la ngempela abangamalungu e-Central Committee ngoba kwakufanele ukuthi banjwe lento ingakho nje baba nomthelela omuhle ku-ANC kumanyonyana alikho ikhomanisi eliyaloke lime lisho into embi ngo-ANC abantu ke abantu baka-ANC bewathanda amakhomanisi makuthiwa kukhuluma ikhomanisi nje ababonke bathobe ngokunjalo nabasebenzi ziyashintsha-ke izinto emhlabeni ziyashintsha manje namhlanje ngithi uma ngikhuluma ney'ngane zami zithi daddy this is not your time ngithi uyingane-ke lezi kodwa politician to say so ipolitiki ayishintshi i-exploitation ayishintshi ukuthi no kwakosibani bani labo ngalowo nkathi usuyilahle from there, because the class antagonism remains. Kushuta sayiboni ngosuthi no enye class lokucabanga ukuthi khona umsebenzi ongaba nabangani nama capitalist. Hey, nginiyeke labanye abantu. But I want to say to the workers, if you want to remember Riot Mkhwanazi, akenakhe ifederation ebumbene engenazi inkinga. Uma nifuna ukukhumbula uMkhwanazi kwabe South African Communist Party, akenakhe le party esiyaziyo. Ngokunjalo nabaka Khongolose, ngisishilo ke impawu zaka Khongolose angizishongo ezinye. Ikakhulu ephathini leya party yakudala yayinento kokuthiwa i-discipline and a qualification. Iron discipline, not just discipline. I-discipline kwakwe yethu la Khongolose. Ephathini it was iron discipline. That's what Mkhwanazi would have heard. Umuntu wekomanisi ngisho ngamazi womza ukukhuluma nje mawuyazi lento ukuthi kuthiwa hayi awusummarize. Babe ngabhedi babe khuluma into ezwakalayo. Uma ke sifuna ukukhumbula uMkhwanazi ake senze njalo. There were things they put uppermost: political education, the scientific politics. Because more than scientific politics awubhedi. Nangelilodwa ingakho uMkhwanazi engazange bhedi. Awubhedi ngoba you know the causes of things and what must be the solutions. Ngithi uma ngikhuluma namakomanisi ngithi i-Marxism is scientific politics. But before you understand Marxism, you must understand science first. Ungasho ukuthi scientific politics ungazi ukuthi what is science. And bese ngiyaba define ukuthi science is a knowledge obtained through observation, critically tested and experimented and brought under one principle. Now anything that goes through that process, kuphuma into pure ngale, engena lutho olunye. Angiyeke ngoba ilanga selishonile. Ngikhuluma kanje ngoba ucomrade wami lo kimina ube njengomfowethu. Ucomrade. Into yonke. Ngizamile esikhathini esiningi ukuba seduze kwakhe kanye nodokotela lo. Ukumhlenga empilweni yakhe. Ngiye kaningi esibhedlele gula. Ngifike ngelinye ilanga ethule ngakhulumi. Kwanelwa ngibona ukukhuluma batho nesi uphetheni le eumlingo. Ngathi no, angiphethe lutho umfowethu lo, ubone umfo wabo. Insizwa lengayiqhenyi ngayo, ingakho ngikhuluma kanje ngayo ngoba angiziqhenyi ngayo. I mean ngoba ngiyaziqhenya ngayo. Ngingabhedi isiZulu. Sengaze ngihlekwe amangisi ukuthi ngiphula isiZulu sakithi. Insizwa leyo izinikele ngayo yonke inhlobo yento. Kunesikhathi uMkhwanazi I'm sure ubaba umtshalo uyazi ayengasebenzi khona eThekwini engawuthola umsebenzi. Kodwa engaphuthi ukuba sema office ANC. Mkhwanazi. Singabe saba na Mkhwanazi namhlanje. Usengaphuma na Mkhwanazi. Umbuzo lowo obalekile kuthini. Sithi alihambeke iqhawe. Alihambe kahle. Lihambe likhululeke ngoba liyenzile eyalinto bekufanele ukuthi liyenze. Lilimele line eyalindima. Lo muntu uMkhwanazi wa influence abantu abaningi ababefundile. Baba influencer waba organizer ukujoin umbutho. wabafundisi politiki. We convey our deepest condolences to the Mkhwanazi family. Sidlulisa izwi lenduduzo umndeni wonke wakwaMkhwanazi. May you derive comfort and strength from the sacrifice that he made for this nation, so that all of us can live in a free and equal society. Kungantuduza ninabondonga ukukhumbula njalo ukuthi lensizwa yazinekezela yazenza ukuthi ibe umnikelo wesizwe ukuthi kusikhululeke lesizwe kube khona inkululeko noxolo nokulingana kwabantu phambi komthetho kulelizwe lakithi. Uma nikhumbula lokho nisho nithi awulihambile iqhawe kodwa la kwenza kwakufanele kwenziwe. Situmo samakomanisi lala ngoxolo Riot comrade wethu veteran lethu msebenzi komanisi lungu eligcwele likakhongolose la luphumule enhlungwini wazi ukuthi wenzile wakho umsebenzi. May his soul rest in peace. Siyabonga.
Special service for the late ANC.
So what we do?
Ogotuma emba phezulu kwentaba ogotuma emba phezulu kwentaba lumhla sibuya yo gothula kuthi lumhla sibuya yo gothula kuthi tu
Well, that brings us to an end of this special broadcast.